Hello, Janesville, and welcome to the Park Place Council Recap. I'm Assistant to the City Manager, Nick Faust, and I'm joined by City Manager Kevin Lahner as we recap some of the key items from the August 25th City Council meeting. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Yeah, no worries. I'm glad to be here.
Now, Kevin, it's been a bit temperate outside, a bit of an autumnal chill in the air, and I know for most folks that means one thing: it's budget season for the city.
Yeah.
So I understand the council passed some budget guidelines tonight and laid out the timetable for the 2026 budget. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so tonight it was a item that we've been doing since around 2017, 2018. And it really just adopts a set of rules as it relates to the discussion of the budget. And so that really is designed to be a guideline for the council discussion. So some of those things are about when they're supposed to ask questions of the city staff, the opportunity to propose amendments, a deadline for that. And then that allows the city staff to prepare for the budget meetings, and so that when there is a public meeting and the discussion of the budget is occurring, we have the information available, and those different changes and information can be debated, in an informed way. Yeah. So that's really what that was all about. From this point now, we start the work of meeting with department heads, going through budget proposals, trying to identify where we need to make changes before we ultimately propose a complete city budget to the city council, which they then debate and make amendments to before it's adopted. So between now and December, it's the most exciting time
Yes.
in city government. You get to talk numbers and budget.
I certainly agree, and I'm sure our viewers do too. From there, another big item, the council passed a resolution to create a GM-JATCO redevelopment advisory board. And a lot of folks in the community have, of course, heard or have been following the city's progress with that site. And now the council, I should say, has created a board. What does that body entail, and where do they fit in the broader effort for the site?
Yeah, so this is an item of high interest for the community. I mean, obviously, the GM Jacko site has a long history, and we recently went through the process of acquiring 7 properties over there. So we currently own 6 of the 7 properties, the 2 main sites, the GM and the Jacko site, and then we own the other properties except for one, which we're in the process of acquiring. So really, the next step in that process, which we talked to the city council about, more than a year ago now, is that we are going to form an advisory board that would guide the redevelopment of the property. And so the council had a really good discussion tonight about that. It's designed to facilitate community engagement and to eventually develop a conceptual development plan, which then would be, as appropriate, marketed to developers and then make recommendations to the city council about what should go there in the future. And so really interesting debate tonight, a lot of public interest. The council ultimately decided to approve the board with some minor amendments. They added 2 additional citizen members, one near the site, one at large. They asked for a quarterly update on progress and some other minor modifications to the board. And so that really kicks off the next phase of this process. They're going to submit, the city council is going to submit nominations. And then I'll make a recommendation of the board members that the city council will approve. And then we'll go through, a process of engaging the community to develop a conceptual redevelopment plan. So it's very exciting. It's the next step in the process. I'm really, really excited about what is to come, and glad to see it moving forward.
Yeah, an important milestone for that project and that site, and it sounds like something community members can continue to follow with council meetings to come.
Yep, definitely.
Now, last but not least, I wanted to highlight the council did pass the agreement, or a new labor contract, I should say, between the city and Janesville Firefighters Local 580. And while, those contracts can seem a bit routine to some, I just wanted to give you a chance to highlight really all the effort that goes into bringing the union to the table, negotiating a good, fair contract, and ensuring public safety is maintained here in Janesville.
Yeah, so we have labor agreements with 3 different units of the local government, the police officers, the firefighters, and the Teamsters. The Teamsters represent those folks that work for transit, for Janesville Transit. And, we have to negotiate those contracts in good faith with the bargaining units whenever they come up to term. And this one was expiring at the end of this year. And we are currently engaged up until tonight. We were engaged with all 3 unions, and now we have the 2 others to negotiate contracts with, hopefully before the end of the year, so that we can get new contracts with those unions as well. And so, the labor contracts are really what they sound like. It outlines the working conditions, the pay, vacation time, a variety of items that really govern the work of the fire union. This particular process resulted in one of our shared goals between the union and the city was to increase the starting wage for firefighters, which we're really happy about. So we've increased the starting wage for firefighters in this new contract. We've established some increases in pay for the duration of the contract, so 2% in July of 2026, and then 3% each year thereafter for the 3-year term. We did a bunch of different things related to special teams, and so we were able to take what was administratively a very difficult multiple wage tables within the fire work group and condense them down to 1, which was a great accomplishment just in terms of working together. And so by and large, it was a really nice professional negotiation, and we're happy to get that contract done. We're looking forward to completing the negotiations with the other 2 groups as well.
Yeah. Sounds like like you said, a relatively painless process, and I'm sure as a tenured administrator and manager, you can really appreciate when those labor agreements go well.
Yeah, I mean, they can be difficult discussions, and it doesn't always work out this way. Sometimes there are really big issues that neither side feels that they can give on. But at the end of the day, there's a process, and the process is defined in state statutes, and we try to honor that process. And thankfully, we were able to get to a voluntary agreement this go around.
Yeah, great outcome for sure. And that about wraps up this recap of the August 25th City Council meeting. Kevin, I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, the folks at home, for tuning in. If you're interested in watching the council meeting in full or reading any additional information about the agenda items discussed, I want to encourage you to tune in to janesvillewi.gov/materials. For the Park Place Council Recap, I'm Nick Faust. I'll see you next time.